Welcome back to Al's Kitchen and welcome back to a not so sunny day in the summertime. That's Britain for you. Anyway, today, do you know what I realised? It's been 11 years since I last made a proper full base gravy, Indian restaurant style. 11 years. Do you know what that means? That means most of my subscribers that have joined me on the route to 155,000 may not have seen the original base gravy video, which makes me cringe, by the way. I mean, look how young I looked. Terrible. Look at me now. So today I want to do a refreshed version of the Indian restaurant base gravy. For those that don't know, base gravy is the foundation ingredient that makes up 20 plus curries in the Indian restaurants. Your jalfrezis, madras, buna, dansak, kormas, tikka masalas, garlic chili chicken, pasanda, the list goes on. And I also wanted to make it nice and simple, cutting away all of the nonsense that you might have experienced watching other base gravy recipes. So let's come and look at the ingredients. So only really what you need. So here I've got just over a kilo of onions, 100 grams of cabbage, 6 cloves of garlic and about 50 grams of fresh ginger, 100 grams of fresh red bell pepper and some carrot. I'm going to be writing all the ingredients lists down in the description box below, and a nice handful of fresh coriander. We'll be using a tin of chopped tomatoes or plum tomatoes, some salt, and also, to keep it easy and accessible for you at home, some ordinary mild madras curry powder. Now, for those of you that know what mixed powder is, what Indian restaurants use, you can use mixed powder instead of the mild madras, but I'll be honest with you, it doesn't make much difference. What makes a difference is just the end result. This recipe, you'll be able to use it in making any of the Indian restaurant curries you want. You can bag it up and freeze it, ready for use. Right, so let's crack on. And it's so easy. Right, to make sure your onions cook through, maybe just cut some crosses in them before you plonk them in for boiling. We're literally just going to be throwing in your garlic, throwing in your ginger, throwing in your white cabbage, throwing in all of the carrot for colour, also your red pepper for colour, and we're going to cover this mixture with some water. Just cover the lowest onion there, and we're going to cook this down. Half a tablespoon of salt. And these other ingredients we will add once we've brought this to the boil. So I'll see you when the bubbles start showing. Right, so this has been boiling away for about 30 minutes. Let's see how it's getting on. Now I have had a poke and a prod to loosen down the onions a little. And as you'll see, it's all softened up nicely. We're going to blend this up, turn it down. Now usually I would advise let this cool right down. We don't want any accidents, do we? But for the sake of the video, I'm going to get right in there and blend this up. And then we're going to finish it off with the remaining ingredients. So let's start blending. I want to make sure that you're blending this for long enough. Even if it takes 3, 4, 5 minutes, you want this really smooth. There we go. So now we want to add a tin of tomatoes, and I want about 3 tablespoons of your mixed powder or mild madras curry powder. 1, 2, 3. Let's carry on blending that. That is basically 95% blended. We're going to turn up the heat, cook it for a final 10 minutes, and then give it a quick blast again, and then we're pretty much done. I'll get back to you in a sec. Right, so come and have a look at this. This has been cooking for about 10 minutes. So total time, about 45, 50 minutes. That's looking nice and smooth. I'm going to give it one final little blitz. This is ready. Look at that lovely base gravy. This is what Indian restaurants would use to make all the curries that you're used to eating at home. Now this is too thick to cook with. So when you're ready to cook with this, you can portion this out, and basically you want it to be the consistency of semi-skimmed milk. Now I'm going to add some water to this to thin it down further, but again you can leave it as a kind of a concentrate and do that when you're ready to use it. Usually once I've defrosted what I need, I'll just add water. I'll come and have a look at this. I'll show you what you need. Now the reason you want it nice and thin is so that when you're cooking out your BIR curries, the gravy is thin enough to caramelise the onion, because if it's too thick, you're basically just going to get a volcanic mess in the kitchen and on your hob, and it's just not going to cook out properly. When it's thin, you reduce all the water back out and you're left with the concentrate which is in there. Look at that, that is absolutely beautiful. Now you may have noticed that I threw the coriander in whole because I wanted this base gravy to be a little bit different, and I want you to see all the specking of the coriander in there, so that when you're cooking out your final curries, your jalfrezes and your madrasses, you can see those tiny little herby fragments. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, because in the next series I'm going to be showing you how to use this beauty, and we're going to be cooking all of your favourite Indian restaurant curries at home, carrying out through the winter. Don't forget to buy some merch. Al's Naga is still doing really well. Thanks for the support. Thanks for those that have already bought this and supported the channel. And I'm also wearing some new merchandise, new apron and t-shirts. These will be going on sale really soon. Anyway, I'm going to bag this up in 300ml portions, freeze it, and then I can't wait to use it. Been lovely, bit nippy out here, so I'm going to get in, let this cool down. I'm Al, and I'll see you in the next one.